So who is going to rule the world in 2009? Leeds are Super League's finest. Manly are Australia's best. Two worlds collide at Ellen Road. It's the 2009 Carnegie World Club Challenge. You know, we might not be the best internationally, but over the past 10 years, British clubs have certainly had the better of things against their NRL counterparts. Super League clubs have won each of the last 5 World Club Challenges, and Leeds Rhinos and their fans go for history tonight. No team has ever retained the crown. Okay, it's a lovely night. This is the way the two teams line up. It's Lee Smith at full-back for Leeds. Then they go Scott Donald, Carl Ablett, Keith Senior and Ryan Hall, who I understand passed a fitness test only yesterday and will play here tonight. Danny Maguire is alongside Rob Burrow. That's the big news for Leeds. The forwards, Kylie Luluai, Mac Diskin and Jamie Peacock. Jamie Jones-Buchanan and Ian Kirk starts. Ali Lauiti'iti then will take his place on the bench. And Kevin Sinfield will play in his preferred position as loose forward. He's the captain. And on the bench, there is Lauiti'iti, Ryan Bailey, Luke Burgess, and this effervescent youngster, Callum Watkins. It could be his big night tonight. The coach is Brian McLennan. Now, the Manly Sea Eagles, Brett Stewart at fullback, Michael Robertson, Jamie Lyon, he needs no introduction from his time at St Helens, a former Man of Steel, Steve Matai, David Williams, Chris Bailey, and Matt Orford, the captain, best player in the NRL last year. Jason King, Mac Ballin and Josh Perry up front. It's Anthony Watmoe and Glenn Hall in the second row, with Glenn Stewart, the brother of the fullback, at loose forward. And on the bench, it's Heath Lestrange, Shane Rodney, George Rose, and wearing 18 tonight. It's Shane Rodney, and wearing 15 tonight is Adam Cuthbertson. Apologies for that.
And there is the referee, Jason Robinson, tonight. He will certainly have some sort of influence in regards to, will they allow them to lay on slightly? Different interpretations, but Leeds have been there, they've done it before. I'm sure their coach Brian McLennan would have had a nice little word in the ear of the referee, as no doubt Des Hasler has done the same. But I'm with you, Phil Clark, this will be a cracker.
Jason Robinson, the referee, blew 26 penalties last week at Warrington in his format match in Super League. We are underway, the World Club Challenge, and there is the first drive-in from Kylie Luluai, and I suppose how apt that Luluai, the former Manly man, takes the first challenge from the Manly Sea Eagles. This, though, now is Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Rob Burrow is the dummy half for Leeds. He finds Maguire. Here is Peacock. And no one has a bigger British heart beating inside his chest than Jamie Peacock. Diskin at dummy half. Luluai for Leeds. That's the fourth tackle. Leeds still inside their own half. Diskin once again. There's no Danny Badiris, of course. The new man out for a few weeks. He is injured. Kick from Sinfield will bounce and skip its way over the dead ball line eventually. David Williams was not interested in picking that up. He will take the 20 metres, restart it here on the 20-metre mark.
Not surprising, Leeds have opted to kick early in the tackle count. They went on the fourth. So important, Kevin Sinfield, in regards to the kicking game. We've seen it often in the grand final, and of course last year at the same ground, his kicking game was absolutely superb. They've got to try to keep turning this Manly outfit round and send them back towards their own line time and time again.
This match is being seen live in Australia on the Fox Sports Network, and all of the people down under will know that Manly's last defeat was August the 17th against South Sydney, 40 points to 32, one of just 7 defeats from 27 games they played last year. This is Glenn Stewart, great work, he's dropped it, and here goes Ryan Hall.
Quick thinking by Leeds there, loose ball, had it whipped away to the winger.
Nobody seemed to want to take control of that, but Maguire does for Leeds Rhinos. And here's a penalty for Leeds, not standing square at the play of the ball.
Well, a golden opportunity there. Manly was in a good position, and they dropped it, no doubt about it. And
great tackle from Rob Burrow.
Was it ever? Interesting also is Brian McLennan has put Rob Burrow in a dummy half to get him well into the swing of things early.
Jamie Jones-Buchanan here now for Leeds. Diskin waits at dummy half. Rob Burrow, now Maguire. Lyon was the man who shot out of the line to halt Maguire. He plays the ball to Burrow. Now it's Keith Senior. Senior tried to outmuscle him, but oh, the pass is straight into the arms of Lyon. And Manly Sea Eagles have the ball back.
I'm not so sure that Lyon didn't call for that. It looked to me as though Keith Senior, the big centre, twisting and trying to get out of the tackle, would have got the call.
Maybe Jamie Lyon developed an English accent in his time at St Helens.
Looked to me it was called. Yeah.
Just wonder if he did call for it. He'll know every Leeds player, of course, by name and by nickname. I'm sure of that. That was the dummy half Ballin. The ball is tipped inside. Last tackle here. As Jason King went to ground. Kicked down the line and is picked up by Lee Smith. Still operating at full-back this year after his man-of-the-match performance in last year's grand final success against St Helens. Quick play the ball from Leeds. Here is Ryan Hall. Gets as far as Glenn Stewart and Chris Bailey.
This is where Leeds can really start taking control of the game, mainly due to the fact that Manly, they'll be a little bit rusty. They've only had one hit out, and really with their first great team, it was only in the second half against the Harlequins. So they'll be rusty early on.
Burrow plays the ball again to Diskin. Here is Maguire. He finds Sinfield. Sinfield goes wide, and it's with Ablett. Ablett is all tied up by Matai. There are two others there. Orford is in very quickly.
We talk about Carl Ablett. It's going to be a big night for him. He's got to keep an eye on one of the best centres in the world in Steve Matai.
Crossfield kick here high from Sinfield. But that was very easy for David Williams.
Got to be pretty careful of the Rhinos because they are really explosive. Both the wingers, David Williams, Michael Robertson there.
Here's David Williams trying the World Cup final for Australia against New Zealand. Back end of last year, here he is in possession again. The thing about tonight is though that last year when Melbourne were here, it was blowing a gale, the wind was horizontal and the rain was as well. And the pitch was quite greasy. It is perfect tonight, absolutely perfect conditions. Neither team can have any excuse at all about the weather.
You're right. There's one of the coaches, Des Haslett, who was very, very happy with the fact that it was dry, fast conditions. Leeds, as you know, they won last year in wet conditions, won the grand final in exactly the same.
That's a poor kick, straight into the arms of Ryan Hall.
I think we should give some credit to the Leeds players, Eddie, who actually put the pressure on Orford. He was the first kick option. More often than not, he will kick the ball, but if Leeds can get to contain him, it makes their life far easier when they have to return that ball.
Burrow again, he's in just about every dummy half position for Leeds, but he's just pushed out of the way here by Matt Diskin, as I say that, as Jamie Jones-Buchanan plays it on halfway. Here now is Peacock. And they know the danger of Jamie Peacock from his international experience with Great Britain and with England. Here now is Sinfield. Good ball to Luluai.
Nearly got through. A good job that Orford went to him. Just getting back to Jamie Peacock. There's a bit of a doubt about his wrist.
High kick here from Danny Maguire. And he allows it to bounce this time, does Williams, and the ball bounces harmlessly over the dead ball line. So Manly with the head and feet.
As in the modern game, no full back there. Will they do a kick and chase?
Orford fires the pass to Steve Matai.
Move! 10's here!
Few handling errors early doors here as well, which is probably to be expected. The stakes are very, very high.
Move!
We know what some people in Australia think of the Super League competition, and Leeds are out to prove them wrong. That's a good strong run though here from Glenn Hall.
Hail tree! Move! 10 and half!
There's been a real forward battle so far. Many opportunities, very few half breaks.
This is Bailey. Oh, brilliant ball round the corner. Lyon gets away from one. And loses the ball under the pressure from Rob Burrow. Well, I think we worked it out before. It's 15 weeks since Rob Burrow last played a competitive game.
You wouldn't think so, would you? He snaps at their ankles. I suppose when you look at the size of him, he's got no option, but he really does get low, doesn't he? Applies the pressure, impact.
Heads down, ball in, Rob.
Well, they're happy. Leeds head and feed now, 20 metres away from their own line. Senior here. He's announced his international retirement as Keith Senior. Wants to concentrate on the latter stages of his career with the Leeds Rhinos. And that's Ian Kirk, who just had a little fumble. Manley seeing more of the football, but as yet not able to do much damage with it. Here is Lee Smith again for Leeds. Space is going to be at a premium tonight. It will take something to break these defences down, something very special. Maybe Diskin can provide it.
Good work. He's got him into a good field position. This is where they take control, especially if they can get a kick into the in-goal area, get the second set of 6.
It's with Burrow. Now it's with Maguire. They've lined up down this left-hand side. Senior helps it on to Ryan Hall. He cuts inside. Good work, though, in defence. It was Glenn Stewart moving back and helping out Jamie Lyon. Burrow, left-footed kick. He was after chasing that himself, but he got a bit of a collision there. But great work from Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Wonderful chase.
Great work, though, wasn't it, by Rob Burrow? Okay, didn't appear to be the best kick, but look whether they've left Manley camped down in their own quarter.
Here goes Lyon again. Jamie Jones and Rob Burrow dealing with that particular threat.
There's a problem out wide for Manley. It looks like Michael Robertson, I think, has picked up an injury way out there on the left.
I think it's the back row forward, isn't it, Watmore?
Either way, Manley...
That was Jason King we just saw there. Good kick downfield. Lee Smith is after that and pouches it on the fly.
Not the best kick. Oh, good tackle, though.
Tremendous tackle from Chris Bailey. Chris Bailey, the former Newcastle Knights standoff half, 7 tries for Newcastle in 2008. He can also play in the back row. He's the new face of 2009 for Manley. He had great versatility to them. Leeds are on halfway with Smith and Peacock. Burrow is flat out. Yep. Burrow has been knocked out here.
Yep.
I think it was a flying tackle from Watmo.
Didn't miss him, did he? Crunched him straight into the ground. They're doing the right thing. Let him recover.
Yeah, just let him get the wind back in his sails. He's a great favourite in Leeds. Listen to the applause as he leaves the field.
Not just in Leeds either. All over the country they admire this fella.
Off he comes, and so Leeds will make their second change, and it's the long for the short, because Big Ali Lauiti'iti comes on, and Leeds did get the penalty, and they're lucky to get away with that, because that came off the legs of Matai, and they will get head and feet at the scrum.
Well, you've got to praise Brian McLennan for trying something different, but this was intended.
It was.
But why would you try that? Because you're guaranteed the possession if you kick the ball out anyway, Eddie. It was a penalty.
Well, Brian McLennan, the coach, obviously, and the skipper, Kevin Sinfield, feels that they're going to come up with something. They have to come up with something good to beat such a quality side like Manley.
Something just a little bit different. Here's the man who has replaced Rob Burrow. Burrow about 5'4", Lauiti'iti about 6'5". This is Sinfield. Sinfield back to Lee Smith. He gets away from 2, he gets away from 3, Watmo it was, and then Orford and Watmo come back for a second snap. Maguire at dummy half. Now Peacock. Peacock's grounded on tackle number 3.
A little bit more running from Diskin, I feel. He's had a couple of raids through.
Sinfield and Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Oh, Senior couldn't take the pass in, and so Brett Stewart picks the ball up.
I'm not so sure that pass was on. To me, Senior had gone through the gap to reach down for it. Cannon sent it away. You could see he'd overrun it. Probably would have been brought back for a forward pass if he'd kept hold of it. And that'll be a penalty. Squeezed out by the big fella Ryan Bailey.
Well, penalty counts keeping going. It's the 11th penalty we've had.
Interesting to get back to the Anthony Watmo, the big hit on Rob Burrow. I couldn't see anything that was untoward, but the official Robinson gave Leeds the penalty for a high shot. Ooh, that was a high shot as well.
Yes, it was Ian Kirk who was a little bit straying with his challenge. Now, this is Glenn Hall. That's the third tackle for Manley, this set of 6.
I just get the impression neither side has settled.
Ballin. Oh, awful pass. And Brett Stewart picks up the pieces for Manly, retains possession for his side. Matar. We go down the short side. Head to head with Maguire, that's the last. The ball will be given some air here. Lee Smith's under it. Lee Smith claims it. And then he's trapped in goal. It's going to be a goal line dropout here.
Tremendous work by Jamie Lyon. Unbelievable. Soon as Orford launched that, Jamie Lyon came in from the angle from his outside centre position on the right and knew who to target.
Great catch from Smith, though, wasn't it? Under extreme pressure from those two maroon jumpers there. This will be a test for Leeds now.
That ball had snow on it when it came out of the sky. It was so high from Orford. Such hang time. Gave his players the chance to make the tackle.
Help on.
There's Des Hasler. Watching from on high here at Ellen Road, up here on the TV gantry. And he's watching as his standoff Chris Bailey drives the ball.
Normally when you get into the first...
I beg your pardon, that was George Rose. Sorry, Stephen.
I'm just saying that after you get past the first quarter, you normally sort of sense that one pack has got on top of the other, but neither so far.
Williams just a juggle from the pass from Brett Stewart. Ballin scampers into dummy half.
You've locked his arm in.
And he'll play the ball. This is Jamie Lyon. Now it's Josh Perry. Good hit. Good hit by Jamie Peacock. Orford, looping pass.
Oh, they're into it. They are really swinging. Peacock and Perry. There's no handbags amongst that lot, I'll tell you.
It's still going.
Oh, there's bullseyes in it.
Perry and Peacock, the two number 10s. We might need a boxing referee in a minute to count to 10.
Thank you.
Well, Orford was throwing a long ball, and these two were throwing long punches, and they were connected. Now, I can't see any claret at the moment. Oh, that was silly from Peacock.
He's no lover of Australians.
Joined the queue.
I don't think Josh Perry was too impressed with the original tackle and had something to say.
Well, he went after him, did Peacock. You could see he had the elbow, and then he just threw one.
Tell you what, Perry hasn't missed yet.
No. I'd have to give it on points to Perry.
It's not over, it carries on, yeah, he gets his breath back and he's on again. That was a good one. Oh!
What, 4-2?
You shouldn't be applauding that, Philip. We should be condemning it, but I know what you mean.
This is to become world champions.
Well, Jamie Peacock is going to have 10 minutes to contemplate in the bin, I think.
You've heard the report. It's been bubbling along. It's not going to keep happening. Wrong colour.
Oh, he got the red out there and he said wrong colour. Thank goodness for that.
Cool. Thanks, mate.
Is he going? He said, cool. Maybe they'll meet on the sideline.
Oh, listen. I know they call Matt Disking disco, but isn't that something you say on the dance floor? Cool or something? I don't know. I'm way out of this these days, but he's joined him. That's good refereeing as well. Just calm things down a little bit.
Two in the sin bin. The only man ever to be sent off in one of these events was a Manly player. It was Ron Gibbs way back in 1987.
He almost decapitated Joe Lyden, actually. That was how bad it was to be sent off, Eddie.
Well, Jamie Peacock has picked up a couple of blows there, as you can see from the blood that's flowing from the top of his head. It's a penalty to Manly at the end of all that.
Will they take the two? This will be interesting. Maybe Des Hasler will say we like to calm things down a bit. No.
Now,
let's apply the pressure.
This is going to be a brave man who takes it in first up, isn't it?
They line it up way out on that left-hand side.
It's Rose. He's still pushing and shoving round the ruck. There really is. That was Ballin, and here now is Rodney. Ballin waits a dummy half again for Manly. He will find Matt Orford, the engineer-in-chief. What? No! Important tackles all over there. Quick play the ball once more. They're over, I think. He is over, Brett Stewart. It's the first try to Manly. And Manly capitalise on the sin binning of Jamie Peacock. and one of their players as well. But Brett Stewart gets over for the first try. He was 24 years of age on Friday. He is a prolific try scorer in the NRL. 92 tries in 112 appearances for Manly since 2003. And look at his record for last season as well. He's drawn first blood in the World Club Challenge.
Well, he's not noted for scoring tries at this calibre. Normally the 50, 60 metres downfield is such a talent from that full-back position, but he's scrambled over like the best hooker in the world. Run from dummy half. They didn't expect that. Quick thinking there by the full-back.
Matt Orford lining up the conversion here to try and add the extras. This for a 6-0 lead. And 6-0 it is to Manly. Brett Stewart's try, converted by the captain. The Sea Eagles are ahead in the World Club Challenge. Both teams down by one man.
Look at the eyes, that's what Leeds were. They said he's going that way. No, he ain't. He's going to backtrack, go under it. They had the numbers. They should have squeezed him down. That was a great effort.
They have come to win it. There's no question of that. This is no holiday in the back end of the British winter for Manly. They've left the hot conditions back home. They've been here for a fortnight. They have played the Harlequins in a warm-up match, and now this is the real thing. Let's get some news of Rob Burrow. Bill.
Yeah, it seems ages ago that Rob Burrow was flat out, but he is thankfully sitting on the sidelines, looking a bit better, although pretty pale and shaken still is the word from the Leeds sideline. Still just keeping an eye on him. He was certainly aware of what happened, so he wasn't knocked out or anything like that, but he's still feeling a little bit fragile.
Don't blame him. That was a brilliant run, meanwhile, while Bill was talking, from Matt Orford. Here is Bailey. Bailey will just dink that into the corner. And, well, I think they might have to... No, I was going to say I think they might just have to run this ball out, but the bounce beat everybody.
And the Leeds have had to work very, very hard here as the ball just bounces over the sideline here, probably to the relief of Lee Smith at the moment, to restrict Manly to just one try. The scramble defence near to their own try line, both on the left and the right, has forced them to work hard. Orford just makes that half break and is contained. But that amount and that style of defensive effort will drain Leeds. They'll need to get to the other end of the field soon. So little of this match has been played on the left half of this field.
Well, they were the first Australian club to take part in this World Club Challenge, that one that we mentioned, 1987, when Gibbs was sent off. They lost 8-2, there were no tries that day. Des Hasler, the current Manly coach, was in their side, and it was played in front of 37,000. Well, that's the official attendance, people who were there, and everyone in Wigan says they were there that night. I think the attendance was nearer 50, but anyway, there was 37,000 in the ground, and it was one of the great occasions of modern-day rugby league, and there are over 30,000 in here tonight to see this one.
It was a tremendous night. You couldn't see a slate anywhere because they were sat in the rooms, they were all over the joint.
It was a fantastic night. And this has all the makings of being just the same, because Manly ahead by 6 points to 0 here. The great thing about this Leeds team, though, you know, of the 19-man squad that Brian McLennan named for this game, in the 19-man squad, along with Callum Watkins and Paul McShane, there are 10 Leeds-born players in their squad, 13 of whom have come through the ranks. Only 3 overseas players in the Leeds team tonight, the lowest number in a British team in this World Club Challenge. That's a fantastic, fantastic testimony to the Leeds Rhinos club.
Fantastic is the word as well, with Kevin Sinfield just mopping up. They've had to work hard as a back three in Leeds. They've done some ground covering up on the tackle, and he's having a blinder, this kid.
And he's made another break, Lee Smith. They eventually scrag him to the ground, but look at the amount of territory forward he has made. Scott Donald, once upon a time of the Manly club, to the halfway line.
He's so superb with fullback Lee Smith. We saw in the grand final last year. Well, he's equal to the task. He can pull it through. He's working overtime both in defence and attack. Manly have to realise they're going to go low on him. He's got great upper body strength, fends them away.
4 tackles gone, 10 metres inside the Manly half, the Leeds, with Maguire. He dabs it over the top, but that was very well read by the fullback.
Surrender!
Brett Stewart.
Go.
Only Bobby Fulton with 129 tries, and Steve Menzies, who's now plying his trade in Super League at the Bulls, scored more tries for Manly than this fellow, and he's not a bad line of defence either.
Movement!
He's not in a bad bracket, is he? Bobby Fulton, wow, one of the world's best.
Held 4!
4 tackles gone for Manly in this set of 6, this latest raid on the Leeds line.
Go 4.
Ballin will give it to Orford. Short ball from him then to Watmo, who skips through the first challenge.
Beautiful step. The big second rower.
This is the last. Oh, straight up in the air almost from Ballin. He was given a long time
it's going to bounce
to kick that. Ryan Hall took an almighty gamble. Jamie Lyne was on him in a flash. Here is Lee Smith. Doesn't make much progress this time.
Held 2! Move!
The major factor is when it was high.
3.
You just can't allow them to do that.
Hold!
And Hall was so fortunate.
If you lock him in, I'm not going to penalise him. 4.
Luluai. There's Steve Menzies
Go.
with the Bradford Bulls in Super League. But here tonight, and I bet he's supporting Manly.
Held 5! Go.
Not many Manly fans in the crowd tonight. There are 1 or 2 notable exceptions.
Inside.
Sinfield with a high hanging kick. There are about 40 or 50 who have made the long journey to be with their club tonight on this auspicious occasion.
Surrender!
And I've spoken to a few of them, and boy, they're enjoying it, and they've been stunned by the weather.
Yes, quite spring-like after Siberia, start of the month, last month. Penalty here for Manly.
Well, Ablett can't believe it.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
But as you mentioned, Eddie, when Jason Robinson took his Super League game the other week, he was very happy to keep the whistle blowing.
Hold! Go.
Yes, Warrington against Catalan Dragons. You remember the great shot we had of Jimmy Lowes waiting for him in the players' tunnel at the Halliwell Jones Stadium, and as he came past him, Jimmy Lowes gave him one of his looks and just shook his head.
Little offer of advice.
Ballin to Orford. Oh, great ball!
Dallow forward.
Watmo hits it at pace, and Watmo gets over for the try.
It looked forward, and they've got away with it.
A fantastic try, though, Steve-O.
Yeah, I'm taking
a
notes.
couple of the handful of Manly fans who are here. Anthony Watmo, what a try! What a pass! And an abject lesson in how to run onto the football from Watmo. He was on the ball and Leeds were on the back foot. Manly are ahead 10-0.
He's agile, is this fella, the big second row, Watmo. But that looked forward to me. It was a delayed pass. And as far as I'm concerned, they've got away with it. Look at this. Boom. That was drifting, but take nothing away from the skill of this fella. We saw a few moments earlier. That's forward, but it has not been seen. Not that Anthony Watmo will worry about it. He's such a creative genius, isn't he, Matt Orford? He really makes this tick. And I'm not sure, but I think Des Hasler is quite happy about it all.
And I think Des Hasler has come over here to take the World Club Challenge trophy home. He is very serious about the business in hand here tonight. Orford, whose pass opened up the Leeds defence, now adds the extras. It's 12-0 to the NRL Premiers, and the Super League champions have it all to do.
They just can't get possession, and they can't get possession in their opponent's half of the field, and that's really what's been difficult. With both teams down to 12 men, Eddie, there were bound to be more spaces in the defensive line, and the team that has the ball and the skill have been able to find them.
Leeds restart, and here is Shane Rodney again. 10 minutes to half-time. It's a crucial 10 minutes as well for Leeds. But Brian, they mustn't let Manly score again if they can help it.
And I think they're not helping themselves. You know, we've had a couple of errors at the top half of the field, as Phil's saying. They need a really good defensive set here and try and restrict Manly's territory and then get up to that end of the field themselves. A couple of errors, compounded by a couple of penalties. Don't give the team in maroon a little bit of field position, because they'll do that irrespective of whether it was forward or not. That last try, Mike, I'll tell you what, it was a terrific hole that he hit, and he went at a full pace as well. Nobody's going to stop him, were they?
No, you can't take that away. He's a talent. He's very light on his feet for a big fella. Loves nothing better than to run out wide on that left-hand area.
Both teams, by the way, now back to 13 men, the two prop forwards. Peacock and Perry are back after their spell in the sin bin. There he is. Here's Senior. This is Maguire, but
haven't seen much of him.
Nowhere for them to go. They're picking up the ball here and they're standing still when they receive it. Peacock escapes the clutches of Cuthbertson.
Great work there.
Diskin, good ball to Senior now. Diskin again.
Leeds realise they've got to come up with something.
Jamie
This should be
Jones.
the break.
Last one, though, for Leeds. He was looking for a penalty there, Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Sinfield under pressure, just hoists the kick. Stewart is after it and claims it. High ball gets him.
He had time there to make a cup of tea. No protection, but either way. You know, when we were watching this Manly outfit against the Harlequins last week, Eddie, the one thing that really impressed me was the way that they can control the ball. They seem to have this ability to get over the halfway line, and then when they get in the opposition half, they know exactly how to just keep turning the team around. And that's what they're doing. Oh, he's off.
Brilliant. Brilliant on the feet again from Watmo. Stewart's on his inside. He's dropped it.
Can't believe it.
That could have been curtains for Leeds.
And that could see it all turn around. How many times over the years have we seen it when we could have just bottled it all up, put the stopper in and said, give us a trophy? That could just see a complete turnaround. Brilliant stuff. Watmo and Stewart has bombed it.
He can't believe it. Leeds played the big get-out-of-jail card there. Oops, and Burgess has just dropped the get-out-of-jail card.
Well, they've been battered into submission, haven't they, in the opening half an hour of this game. I think Manly have had almost 3 times as much possession in their opponent's half, and I guess that's part because they've worked so hard defensively to fall the sort of mistakes. Look at Watmore there, skipping off that left foot so well, finding a nice soft pass inside to Stewart, and well, it was just too easy for him.
Amazing that a man of that quality, but it does occur. We saw last night down in London, Mano was heading towards man of the match. Chad Randall came up with throwing an intercept, and it just turned the game around. It's amazing how things like that can just put a negative into the heads of this side. Will Manly be professional enough to overcome it?
Cuthbertson gets the ball away. It's Watmo again. He takes the tackle from Callum Watkins, who's out there now. Fascinated to see how Watkins stands up to this massive challenge here tonight. Good hands. Lyon. He has got Williams. Maguire did well. He forced him back on the inside. Tackle's not completed. Now it is.
There's obviously a problem, you know, with Danny Maguire. He's having to play right out on the wing on this left angle.
Look out, here is Orford. Here is Matt Orford. Now it's with Cuthbertson again. Good hands again from the forwards. It's the prop forward, Josh Perry. Now Bailey. And Bailey trying to go alone. The ball comes back.
Play on. Always play the knock on.
He was on
the last, okay.
Hold up.
Well, they did well, Leeds, to scramble back. They were in all sorts of trouble, but
Step back.
that defensive line, Brian McLennan, the Leeds coach, is having to squeeze out Danny Maguire on that left-hand area.
And you can't scramble like that for 80 minutes. You see the fatigue now starting to fit in. The work they're having to do in defence, the number of tackles they made, almost twice as many as their opponents. And now that just energises Manly here. Now look how fresh they are, moving forward, containing Leeds. You know, last year in the NRL, Eddie, in all games, Manly in the third quarter scored 4 points for every one they conceded. They blew the teams away after half-time. And Leeds need something special now to hang on, and some magic juice at half-time.
There was an ironic cheer went round the ground then when Jason Robinson gave Leeds the penalty. Watmo the culprit.
They need something special, Leeds, and they've got to come up with maybe something different. Hitting big and Manly, that is for sure. Oh,
well, he was directing traffic then, Jamie Jones-Buchanan, and he wasn't watching as the play the ball came in. It bounced off his foot, and he was lucky to keep hold of it. There he is again at dummy half. This is Peacock. Now it's Maguire. Oh, Lee Smith has put that down. It went backwards, though, but they've lost ground. Ryan Hall is tackled by Lyon and Williams. Did well to retain the possession for the Rhinos there. Smith again.
Held 4.
That's the fourth. Lee Smith, of course, who got man of the match in the grand final. And he featured for England in the World Cup. He got a hat-trick against Papua New Guinea in Townsville in our only victory. We didn't really see him again much after that. He was injured.
That's tremendous defence, tremendous pressure. Oh, they've nearly got away with it.
They have got away with it. Maguire! Maguire for Leeds! Maguire will get over for Leeds, will he? Oh, he's lost it!
He's lost
put it down yet.
It's stolen. This will be classified as a dropout, I feel.
Well, it depends. It depends how it came back, because Maguire was trying to put the ball down, and then there was a Leeds player who came up in support. The ball comes around for Jamie Jones-Buchanan. That's okay, I think.
Well, Maguire was pushing. Has he been pushed off the ball? That's what he's got to say. Has Glenn Stewart been pushed away from the ball, but Maguire doesn't get it down. This is wonderful from Orford.
It's Jamie Jones-Buchanan who's following up.
I think he loses it. He loses it.
Yes,
what a wonderful effort by Matt Orford.
Look there, that's a try, isn't it?
Yeah, but has it gone forward? Oh, it's come off. If it sneaked it, yeah, you're right.
Has it gone backwards off?
Matt Orford can't pull it out, then the ball come this way, Eddie. Danny Maguire must have lost that ball. That can't be a try.
Yeah, I'm with you, Phil.
What's your opinion, Brian?
I think they're going to give a try. I think they're going to say Matt Orford's been involved there and he's tried to pass the ball backwards. If this comes out here from a backwards motion, I think they'll adjudicate a try.
Well, Orford is trying to stop Maguire from scoring the try, and you can see Maguire has deliberately reefed the ball back. So, in my opinion, Maguire's made the motion, which will be classified as a knock-on. Steve Ganson is the video referee for all you back in Australia. Probably remember the World Cup final with, well, I wouldn't say with a smile on your face.
They will in New Zealand. I think this is going to be given.
What about the pace of Orford there to catch Maguire from the side angle?
Here's Steve Ganson's decision. The try for Leeds. Jamie Jones-Buchanan gets the try. Maguire was robbed of the ball by Orford on the ground behind the line. The ball came out, and following up was Jamie Jones-Buchanan, and he gets the try. Well, it was Maguire and Buchanan who forced the error, and it was Maguire and Buchanan who have produced the four-pointer. Well, we go back to that Brett Stewart fumble with the line at his mercy not too long ago, and we did say then was that a big turning point. Well, instead of being 18-0 down, Leeds might just turn round 12-6 down.
It wasn't the best kick. It was put under a lot of pressure by Anthony Watmo, but it turned out okay in the end. Des Hasler will be thinking, well, what about the obstruction, the pushing on Glenn Stewart, the loose forward? It didn't matter. Steve Ganson said that was okay. That's a controversial try. Oh, he's missed it.
Well, that's not Kevin Sinfield-like at all. He eats those. He gobbles those up for breakfast. So it's 12-4, not 12-6.
Kicking accuracy, Eddie, drops when you start to fatigue, and I think that's a reflection of the amount of the work Kevin Sinfield and his Leeds teammates have had to do to prevent Manly from scoring even more tries. Great, though, comeback there when they've been on the ropes for the last 30 minutes. You're right, you're looking sport. They've just had 4 points of it.
They needed it.
Oh, hang on, this could be sailing out on the full. Lee Smith did well then, but I wonder if he'd have left that, whether that would have gone out on the full. I think it might have done, you know. It would have done, definitely.
It's pretty hard, though, to make a decision when the ball's coming down to you.
Absolutely.
With 30-odd thousand screaming in your ear. Well, there's a little bit more zip in this Leeds outfit at the moment. A
minute to go to half-time.
And it's worth taking another gamble, maybe just a chip over the top with the likes of Maguire.
This is Peacock.
In a good position. No full-back at home at the moment for Manly.
That's the last one.
Still no full-back.
Sinfield jinks away from the despairing tackle of Lestrange and nips it towards the corner. Ryan Hall was after it. Brett Stewart took the gamble, allowed it to cross the whitewash. This will be head and feet at the scrum to Manly.
Not a bad kick, was it? Took the option there, Stewart. Took an eternity to get back into position. Good job that they applied the pressure on Sinfield, but that's how it came about, their first try.
Let's go, Manly, arms over.
It wasn't the best kick
Arms over.
from Kevin Sinfield, but it certainly came up trumps.
But it could have been so different, couldn't it? It could have been 18-0, as it is. We're now 12-4 as we approach half-time. Just about enough seconds on the clock for one tackle here. And there it is. Ryan Bailey was seeing to it that nobody was going anywhere. Jamie Jones-Buchanan with the try for the Leeds Rhinos after first Brent Stewart and then Anthony Watmoe had scored tries in the opening half hour to give Manly a 12-0 advantage. But then those two players combined, Watmoe with the break and Brett Stewart. Stewart dropped the ball with the line at his mercy. That would have been 18-all and maybe curtains for Leeds. As it is, they fought back. Two men in the sin bin in the first half, Peacock and Perry. It's a great World Club challenge here at Ellen Road. It's Leeds 4, Manly 12. And Leeds will get us underway in the second half of the Carnegie World Club Challenge 2009. Here we go. 80 minutes, of course, to make history. 40 minutes remaining now for Leeds to write their names into the record books here. No team has ever retained this crown, but Leeds are absolutely desperate to do that if they possibly can.
Well, they were certainly helped by that controversial try to Jamie Jones-Buchanan. But let's give also credit to Danny Maguire. Johnny on the spot on that occasion. He'd had a very quiet 39 minutes, but when they were needed, he stood up and got counted.
This is Watmoe, who proved in the opening half what a threat he is to the Leeds' ambition here tonight. On halfway, in the last tackle, the kick from Orford is angled and across the field, picked up by Lee Smith. Shame that he stumbled. It allowed Heath Lestrange to come in and effect the tackle. Oh, and there's the first penalty to Leeds, start of this second half.
Well, Lestrange claiming to the official, Mr. Robinson, that he'd also been grabbed by the Leeds player. Discipline is going to be a key factor in the second half.
It's a great ball from Maguire to Ryan Hall, but he tried to feed Senior, and Jamie Lyme was alert to the threat. Well, that was inventive, wasn't it? It's a shame it didn't come off for them.
But Lyon did exceptionally well, didn't he? Not only went down and stopped Senior, made sure that he got the loose ball that was stripped away.
Fitness is bound to be a key in this second half. Manly, well, this is their warm-up game, really, for the NRL defence that begins in a couple of weeks' time.
Well, the biggest problem for Leeds, of course, is that they've had to do a heck of a lot more tackling in that first 40.
Little break over the top, it finds its way to Robertson. Robertson has got Scott Donald with him. That was touched by a Leeds player. He is offside, Ablett. It's bounced off the knee. It's Brett Stewart, second try. Could have been a hat-trick. Could easily have been a hat-trick. But Brett Stewart gets try number 2. And that's a devastating blow to Leeds at the start of this second half. Brett Stewart, such a prolific try scorer for the Manly Sea Eagles. 22 times he crossed the whitewash last year. I said in the first half only Bobby Fulton and Steve Menzies have ever scored more in the history of this club, and he's showing exactly why tonight.
Beautiful interchange on the switch. Got it away, nice flip over the top. The winger did everything right. Donald looked as though he's getting through. Bounces all over the place. Ablett really should have taken it. He knows it as well. And Brett Stewart, as Eddie has already mentioned, made a proper meal of it after that wonderful break by Anthony Watmoe. He's made amends. His coach, Des Hasler, will say, well done. You missed one, but you've dragged one back. Not many Manly fans in the crowd here tonight, but plenty to celebrate.
Our director's finding a few, though, isn't he? Anyone who's wearing a Manly jersey tonight is being picked out on the cameras. I wonder why. Matt Orford, to add the extras, he's missed it.
Maybe because he was born in Australia.
He's a Manly boy, actually. You may as well tell everybody. Neville Smith, the executive producer director of Sky Sports, is a Manly boy. So at least there's one of the crew tonight will have a smile on their face, Steve.
Well, to be fair, he'll be impartial.
Oh, I doubt that. That's impossible.
He's a professional. He has to be.
I'm not talking about his ability as far as this is concerned.
Important now that Leeds really aim up. They've got to try to force the error and at least camp down in this attacking zone. Oh, look at the quick hands.
Good hands. Robertson again. He's beaten Jamie Jones-Buchanan, the kick. Oh, brilliantly too. Stewart, who's after the hat-trick, he's not going to get it, courtesy of Ryan Hall. They want to quick play the ball here. They're in all sorts of strife. Watmoe, second try for him. There's Steve Menzies, who somehow is keeping a lid on his emotions. We're trying to interview Steve Menzies. I'll give you a little secret, but they keep scoring tries. And Watmoe has scored the second try at the start of this second half, and suddenly it becomes a very, very big World Club challenge for Leeds right now.
Sheer pace, wonderful skills, great quality, quick hands, and the finish was pretty good as well. Tremendous game the second row is having. Anthony Watmoe put himself in the ground. Beautiful stuff again. Look at the hands there. Matai sends away Robertson, kick on the inside. Stewart, as always, great support play.
Was Stewart onside from that kick?
A bit late now. Great the opportunity.
The referee, Jason Robinson, didn't bother to refer it upstairs. Well, it can't tell from that, obviously.
No, he was in a good position.
Well, the Leeds fans in the ground here, they believe that there's a question mark about that. Orford, has he got the side set this time? He has. It's now 22 points to 4. Manly stretching away. Well, here we are. Let's have a look at it. He's onside, he's onside,
yeah,
he's onside.
He's onside, and that's good work from the official. He was running right parallel with the fullback, Brett Stewart.
He's so quick, isn't he, Stewart?
Certainly did.
So quick. And it was a perfect bounce. Well, 22-4, St Helens in 2001 and 2007 against Brisbane, witness against Canberra at Old Trafford on a famous night in 1989, the only teams to come from behind at half-time to win the World Club Challenge. It's just moving a little beyond Leeds now. Here is a break from Rodney, and Rodney has got support from the other substitute, Lestrange. Lestrange gives it to Matai, and Matai scores for Manly. Outstanding rugby league. Outstanding from Manly. He's not given it yet. He's handed it to Steve Ganson to take a look at. He wants to check the grounding. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, he's in full control. Fingertips either side of the ball. That is a try.
Unbelievable score. 3 tries in 6 minutes 50 seconds at the start of this second half. It's just taken the game away from Leeds almost completely. Matai gets the try. Well, I said we were trying to talk to Steve Menzies. Would somebody tell Manly to stop scoring and we can have a word with him?
Well, they did this to many sides last year in the NRL. In fact, they did it to Melbourne Storm in the grand final. I think they put 16 points on after half-time. They've just gone to show, really, that is a real ability, and you can blow your opponents away just when you come out from the after the half-time break. you effectively win the game and kill off the hopes of your opponents.
It was superb. You know, there's talk back in Manly. They say that this perhaps is one of the greatest of all Manly sides, and the way that they combine and the support play is nothing short of superb. As soon as he got the ball, Matai knew exactly what was going to happen. It was not the best defence there from Bailey. They were all at sea, back on the inside. Oh, it is sheer magic. He was grinning all the way to the line. Yep, and you're not on your own, mate.
He is one of 32,500 who have groaned, and Orford has missed with the conversion. 32,500 people inside here tonight. And look at the scoreline, 26-4. Quick, before the ball's in play, Phil, get talking to Steve Menzies.
Steve, when we sat down at the start of the second half, we were going to say that really it was anybody's game. That's turned it on its head, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a good couple of 5 or 10 minutes there from the Manly side, and obviously a good chat at half-time.
What do you think that, obviously, what the strategy was when they came out at the second half to open it up a bit?
Yeah, I think they've been having a little bit of luck on the edges. They seem to be catching them a little bit short. Obviously, I think there's a couple of balls knocked down from Jamie Lyon on the right side in the first half. Maybe sort of Desi's seen something that to have a look at there.
Well, there's absolutely no doubt that Manly have come here to win this, but maybe as opposed to previous teams.
Yeah, obviously taking it pretty seriously. It just goes to show having a trial game beforehand really set them up, and we've come over and they're playing well.
Haven't finished yet.
No, hopefully they keep it going. Yeah.
Thanks, Steve.
No worries, cheers.
The one advantage as well, Eddie, is the fact that, you know, they brought in Adam Cuthbertson. He's put himself about really well, and Shane Rodney, as we've just seen in that try, working well. Oh, look at the long pass, super stuff. Brilliant.
This is their first game of 2009. Look out, the other NRL hopefuls. Oh, they've got a penalty now.
That's a bit cruel.
I wonder what that's for. Kevin Sinfield's asking as well.
Well, obviously the referee must have shouted held, otherwise it's play on. Black works hard, Sinfield's confused.
Well, he might have shouted hell, but wasn't it the Manly man who released the ball? Shouldn't it then have gone the other way, if that's the case?
Confusing. They've got to shore up their defence, though.
Brian Noble, do Leeds have any hope?
Probably not. The only reason I say that is because I'm reminded of what Phil said about this Manly team in this first 20 minutes. They don't go bad in the last 20 minutes. And we said at half-time, keep the ball away from them. Leeds have touched the ball for 3 plays this half, and we're 10 minutes into it. Their second play was an error down the left-hand side. Free possession for Manly.
10 metres!
Look at the possession in this second half already. And they're running now with venom. And this is Williams. They're confident. It's just oozing out of them.
Great combination, wonderful passing.
And the big fellow here just palms it down to Orford, who's seen the gap.
Play on.
That is now McDonald.
Good opportunity. Wonderful play, though, wasn't it? This Shane Rodney, he really has impressed me since he came off the bench.
It's a learning curve for Callum Watkins. He's underneath all of that. He's only 17 years of age. Peacock.
Help to.
Just wonder if he won the fight as well. Did Jamie Peacock come out with a points winner, do you think, in the fight?
No, I think it went the other way, sadly.
3.
I think we've all...
from Jamie, just the same.
I'm making no excuses. They've got the penalty. I'm making no excuses, Eddie, but, you know, to lose the halfback Rob Barrow early in the game certainly didn't help the Rhinos. I'm taking nothing away from the Manly skills that they've displayed, and there is the man. Let's hope he can get back on, and he must be itching to try to launch some sort of attack. They need something quickly.
Well, they do. That's Lauiti'iti, who is halted by the loose forward Glenn Stewart. The thing is, they do need him on here tonight. If the game is close, if Manly start to run away with this, there is no point whatsoever in risking Rob Burrow, because there is a long and arduous Super League season lying ahead of us.
Oh, you're right. I think if Manly scored another try, but it might be different if Leeds get over.
Well, there's a chance here because this is Sinfield and he's 10 metres away from the line. And now it's with Lee Smith. Manly don't want to concede anything else here. Diskin, good run. Oh.
The error count is shocking.
Didn't he? Kylie Lauiti'iti just went without the ball.
And to be fair, the pressure that's been applied in defence from Manly been pretty solid. You can see Jason King, he put himself about in there. Although I couldn't keep control of it.
Back it up. Thank you.
I made the point midway through that first half, Eddie, in regards to, remember, against Harlequins, we said the fact that Manly have this wonderful ability to keep hold of the ball for long periods of time. And we certainly showed that in the second half.
Good tackle from Watkins on Steve Matai. 17-year-old and one of the best in the world. He slipped then as he tried to play the ball, Matai. Well, Manly's first two premierships were achieved with the outstanding Malcolm Reilly at loose forward. You remember him, of course, 1972 and 1973, and there's been a lot of British connections between these shores and Manly. Steve Norton, Gary Stevens, Phil Lowe were in the title-winning side of 1976.
Up, Jamie! Hold! Hold, go.
It's now with Orford. Orford to Glenn Stewart. He bounces off one. He's trying to get away from Ablett, and he's got Lauiti'iti on his back as well. Orford down centre field, picked up by Scott Donald. Gets as far as Anthony Watmo. It's all gone a little quiet inside Ellen Road, Phil, hasn't it?
I think Leeds are suffering from the work they had to do in the first half, and then they've also, still trying to recover. That's somewhat one of the interesting parts of rugby league, really. When your opponents put 2 or 3 quick tries on the board, how do you react? What do you do? Do you retreat within your shell, or do you continue to play the things that you practiced all week leading up to the game? And that's the test for Leeds now, particularly having lost Rob Burrow. Can they find the shape? Can they have players running? Otherwise, it just becomes one-man individual efforts.
It's Jamie Peacock, put on his ground on his back on tackle number 4. Disc into Sinfield. Sinfield flicks it back. Ablett, good ball. Maguire. There's always defenders in reserve, though, it seems, for Manly.
Yeah, but that was good play by Leeds. They'll gain confidence.
Senior is trapped on the last.
He's lost it. That'll be the turnover. Tried to sneak it away before the official blew the whistle. Non-forthcoming. I've been impressed also by the way that Manly, the back three, they work overtime. If there's a half break.
Looks like he's keen to get on, doesn't he, Rob Burrow? He's warming up, dropping the hints to Brian McLennan. They just need a try, Leeds, just to build a little bit of confidence. Hit with 3 tries at the start of the second half. Stewart, Watmo and Matai. That's turned the game completely. Watmo brilliantly again, gets it to Lestrange.
But what tries? They were just superb out of the top drawer.
Very much so. Matai again. And throttle tackle. It's the second effort really from Jamie Jones-Buchanan that's been pinged by Jason Robinson.
Well, there's barely a facial, but the rule book states.
Brett Stewart, by the way, and Anthony Watmo on 2 tries. We have never yet had a hat-trick in these World Club challenges. What Price won now?
Don't hold your breath on that one.
This is Glenn Hall for Manly. Lestrange, the dummy half. Here's Glenn Stewart. Lestrange again. Grand final winner, only his 24th appearance last year for Manly, Heath Lestrange.
It's pretty to watch how Manly utilise the dummy runners, not just on the odd occasion, but nearly all the time. The work off the ball has been superb tonight.
Last tackle here for Manly. Lestrange again. Bailey goes wide and finds Lyon, who's dropped it. Senior pounces on the mistake. Referee calls it the 0 tackle.
Not the best pass.
Great hit. What a hit on Lee Smith from Hall, that was. This is Peacock. He'll be stinging and hurting as a result of this scoreline just now, Jamie Peacock.
He doesn't deserve to be on the losing side.
Oh, he said play on. He said play on. It's a penalty to Manley, this. He said play on and he played the ball.
That's a bit harsh.
I call play on because he broke the tackle. Then he
I'm just trying to make the point that the fullback, Lee Smith, has been outstanding for Leeds. He really has stood up to the plate tonight.
Well, the referee called play on. I think Kevin Sinfield said that they believed he said play it.
I can't understand why you would penalise Leeds for that, because all they've done is penalise themselves by using up one of the 6 tackles that you're allowed in the sport of rugby league. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense to me.
But if he's called the tackle held, which he did, or rather called the tackle not held, which he did, he has to penalise him for it, doesn't he? Anyway, here is Rodney, and they're the Leeds posts.
Watch for the dummy runners now.
Well, Lestrange is organising and marshalling. Here is Bailey, short ball on the angled run.
They're so well drilled. You've got to give a lot of credit to Des Hasler, their coach. He works overtime.
Good defence here, though, from Leeds on show. Can they hold out for another 2 tackles? Lestrange again, back to Bailey. He'll come up the middle. Took a clatter from Ryan Bailey. Now then, will they dink it to the in-goal area, go for another set of 6? They're not going to get another set of 6. That was maybe a bit of a swinging arm from Watmo.
Again, great positioning by Lee Smith. He's had to work overtime. Not many opportunities, though, for the Leeds wingers. Ryan Hall and Scott Donald. Look how that Manley defence come in on the angle. They're virtually forcing Leeds into one-out football time and time again.
Well, they're on course to be the first Australian winner since 2003, but what has Ryan Hall got to say about it all? Good play.
Got away again.
Good play from him. Here's Sinfield. Peacock. Watmo's all over him. Back comes Rodney to help out. That's the last tackle for Leeds.
Surely the high bomb.
There it is from Sinfield. Stewart's underneath it. Maguire is hunting it. Stewart gets it. Thinking about releasing them down that right-hand side. Williams is tackled.
How cool was the fullback there, Brent Stewart, should I say. Not only took the football, but just ambled across, waited for his man to come through, made valuable ground forward.
Which now is Jason King. Oh, offloads the ball to Matai. Leeds funneling back, scrambling to get him down. Into the last quarter, you do fear that a lot of this defensive work that Leeds have had to do will take its toll late on. This is Lestrange. That's the last one. Last tackle then for Manley. Bailey puts ball to air. Ryan Hall's underneath it. Oh, Williams. He drilled him into the ground. That's Jamie Lyon to bring Hall down. Here goes Senior now. They need a flash of inspiration from somewhere, Brian. Where's it going to come from?
They need to be not patient, but they need to recognise that all those 50-50 things that Manley do, they make you pay the price. They handed the ball over there, and even the winger was determined to make Ryan Hall pay the price. So this penalty might give them some rest by now.
Yes, that's a golden penalty from the Leeds Rhinos.
You can see there that Anthony Watmo, he was out of the blocks far too quickly. But what a game that man's had.
So Leeds inside the Manley half. Can they do something with this possession? Give themselves and their supporters hope. Lee Smith. He's not giving it away, is he? Diskin waiting at dummy half and holding down. Watmo again. Interference in the tackle. It's another penalty for Leeds. Maybe Manley starting to feel the pinch now as we pass the hour mark, eh? Lauiti'iti. Big Ali Lauiti'iti. Good run.
A little bit more running from Matt Diskin now, just to make sure the first and second markers work hard. That's better.
Peacock. Jamie Peacock for Leeds. just short. 2 tackles though, plenty in the bank. Manly a bit slower to get off the tackle player than they were not long ago, but Maguire going nowhere. Down he goes, wrestled to the floor. It's Diskin! Matt Diskin, but they can't get through that 3-man solid wall of defence. Lyon there, pointing, shouting. Not the best pass on the bounce to Sinfield. Here is Ryan Bailey.
Kick to the right-hand side corner, surely it's on.
It's a penalty to Leeds.
On the last.
Well, they just had 5 tackles, Eddie, and they didn't really ask that many questions of Manly defence. They get another 5 or 6 here. What can they do this time? Individual efforts, I don't think, will get you through at this stage in the game.
Bailey gets to his feet, plays it to Diskin. Diskin then to Sinfield, looks for the runner. The runner has arrived, and it is Kirk who plays it to Diskin, to Maguire. And here is Lee Smith. Now there's chances here. Lee Smith though went inside. He had Watkins and Donald outside him.
Second phase has to be better.
Maguire spinning. Just short again from Maguire. 3 Manly players bring him down. Ablett's the dummy half this time. Back it comes to Sinfield. Sinfield running laterally. Still going laterally, Sinfield. Now he straightens it up. Looks for support. Lauiti'iti, senior! Try for Leeds! Just what they needed. With 17 minutes remaining, just what the Leeds Rhinos needed from the veteran. Keith Senior, his first try in one of these clashes, and it might have come at just the right time.
Great work from Leeds, mainly due to the forward, especially the hooker Matt Diskin. 2 little forays from dummy half and went down the middle, dragged in the Manly defence, and once they got the link working, they stood off. Sinfield did well, offload, Lauiti'iti spin it out, and the old fella Senior, he made short of that one. Probably the first time this half that Leeds have found a chink out wide. Super offload by Lauiti'iti. Is there enough time? No doubt Brian McLennan, the Leeds coach, will get the message out. They're not giving this one up.
Great kick this time from Kevin Sinfield. 26-10. I wonder now whether we will see Rob Burrow emerge. I wonder now whether Brian McLennan will be tempted to throw the little fella back on.
You know, the principles of this game are quite simple. You need to get close to your opponent's line and somehow get over it. That was 10 tackles that Leeds had on the Manly try line. They were given 2 penalties and eventually found the creation and the ability to get the ball wide to space and score. They need to get back down to that part of the field, Eddie, as quickly as possible in whatever means possible.
The kick-off is right to the Leeds goal line. Smith's underneath it. Here comes Peacock. Now has that try from Keith Senior re-energised this Leeds Rhinos team? Well, this might... Oh no, it's a penalty to Manly.
Well, is that obstruction by Keith Senior? Oh, come on. I know he's there, but they barely went for a hug. Jason King said, well, we'll do the waltz. He joined in, but penalised.
So here come Manly now in the shape of Glenn Hall. 5 metres away from the line. Matt Orford, the danger man. Matai on the angle. Run, Steve Matai. Lestrange is the dummy half. Orford. Bailey. Rodney. Whoa.
Still 2.
We've lost ground there, and that's the understatement of the season so far. Heath Lestrange again. Waiting at dummy half. Goes down the short side with Jamie Lyon.
That's good play as well by Lyon. Take it on the blind side, just settle things down. Okay, it wasn't the best pass.
Interesting in the build-up to this match, Jamie Lyon says he fancies a return to Super League in the not-too-distant, and has asked St Helens to come a-courting. It's Matt Orford. High kick. Donald's underneath it. Ball has bounced, and it's a tap on the 20. Oh, Manly are furious. They are furious. They believe it should be a goal line dropout.
Now I think it's been...
I think the touch judges said the same.
Or the 4th official, maybe a word in the ear of Mr. Robinson. Just have a little look at it.
It's off Donald. I think Manly have a case.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, that's off Donald.
Yeah, the right arm of Donald is definitely going to it. Pretty difficult, to be fair. The referee, Steve Ganson.
Yeah, it's a goal line dropout. Nothing's going Leeds' way, is it?
It was a nice kick, to be fair, by Manly. They apply the pressure. Donald's not too impressed. He'll be happy. He'll keep just glancing up at the scoreline. He won't rest easy, though. There's Hasler. As near to a perfectionist you'll ever come across.
This is George Rose.
One of the fittest men I think I've ever seen in my life, says Hasler.
George Rose is coming back after missing the best part of the last 2 years, by the way.
Held to. Move!
Bailey goes for a piggyback. Heath Lestrange. He can't touch Lestrange because he was in an offside position.
Held straight. Move!
And that's the third tackle. And look where they are again. Camped underneath the Leeds post. Bailey, not the best. Just losing their way a little.
Just a little bit too fancy. Lackadaisical coming into their play. It's maybe they're looking at the clock and saying, well, at 26-10, surely Leeds can't get 16 points back.
Shane Rodney with the mistake. The ex-Penrith man came to Manly in the close season.
Boy.
Must say their blistering start to this second half, though, was just...
Oh, they blew them away, didn't they?
Something to behold.
Yeah.
Sinfield.
Sheer quality.
Penalty here.
Your second movement's gone straight to his neck.
Clint Hall, not happy with it.
Well, he attacked the head, and there it is, the arm round the neck. 13 penalties to Leeds, 11 to Manly.
Yeah,
He likes the whistle, doesn't he, Jason Robinson?
Up, Steve!
Most of them do.
Here's another one. Use of the elbow this time.
Forearm all over his head. Get that rubbish out.
Just a touch. Mr. Matai. Listen to the crowd lift here.
Well, 2 penalties earlier, and Leeds scored from the second one. They've got a chance here. It's the same wing. Lauiti'iti, senior. Oh, dear.
Good build-up. Well, they had a trolley full of goods, didn't they? They forgot the credit card at the checkout.
You know when you make that second movement, you're going to get caught. Right?
TT causing a few problems out here on the left centre. And Manly will be in no rush to set the scrum.
Needle up, boys. Heads down, Rhinos.
Been a great performance, though, hasn't it? All round by the Manly outfit who've, as you say, Eddie, the blitz straight after half-time.
There's your 10.
It's remarkable. Sheer quality.
Jamie.
Champagne rugby league football.
Manly lost the first 2 of 2008 to Cronulla and at Newcastle, yet they still went on to win the grand final. 40 points to 0 against Melbourne, who had beaten them in the grand final the previous year. They exacted swift revenge.
They lost 3 of their opening 5 games of the season as well, which might just cheer up 1 or 2 of the Wigan fans at the moment.
Wigan and Warrington.
Held 5! Up!
Watmo gets to his feet. Lestrange again. Orford, up it goes.
Outside.
Smith is backpedaling.
Outside.
What height on that kick.
And it came down right underneath the
Wait for the
crossbar
whistle.
as well. Could have
Wait
bounced
for the
anywhere.
whistle.
As it is, it bounced over the dead ball line. The crowd unhappy because it's a controlled restart from that situation. Jason Robinson making sure it was completely controlled. Senior did well. Get it away to Maguire. Here is Luke Burgess.
They're getting into that zone now that Leeds. They've got to try everything. Little chips over, spinning the tackle, keep the ball alive. They've got to take risks, which is pretty dangerous against a Manly side that can snap up the ball. They've got the speed out wide.
Diskin. Just perhaps an element of fatigue coming into the Manly squad at the moment, which is understandable. Lauiti'iti, great ball. Ryan Hall. Ryan Hall in the corner for Leeds. It was the money ball from Lauiti'iti. And Ryan Hall over in the corner. A crucial try in the grand final, by the way, as Leeds beat St Helens 24-16. I think the sands of time are against him, but that could be a crucial try in this World Club Challenge.
I made the point that the big fella, Lauiti'iti, was causing all sorts of problems for the Manly defence out there on that right-hand side. That was a great effort, wasn't it? Well finished, but Lauiti'iti picked the ball up from dummy half on the run. Look at this. Didn't swoop it, picked it up like a sea eagle would. Bang! Against it, whip, straight away. Great combination.
Whoa! Have a look at this, by the way. You can probably tell what's happened by the noise in the background. In off the post. 16-26. Hope springs eternal. Fatigue for Manly, perhaps.
Oh, give full credit to the second row on Lauiti'iti. He's a man that's turned it around up there on the left-hand side.
Is we've got, what have we got left? About 8-9 minutes? Have Manly got enough energy left, Phil?
Well, you know what? They've embraced sports science more than any other club in rugby league, and they are one of the fittest sides in Australia and probably the world. They really do know where their bodies are and how they can get to peak performance. So I don't think that's as much the case. I just think that Leeds here now have had some good possession in the right part of the field, and now just chancing their arm a little bit will score, but they have to get out to the half field. Leeds can Sinfield make a break?
Not on this occasion.
It just shows you the influence it has when you have possession for any length of time, and that's certainly been the way in regards for Leeds.
And they got a couple of quick penalties as well, didn't they, Leeds?
A run of penalties which got them good field position.
Maguire, this is where they think the key is, down this left channel. Senior.
Oh, forward. Good work though by David Williams, had to be, but the crowd lifted. Senior making the break. This is where Manly have to just regroup, just try to offload. You can't sort of blame Senior. They're at the moment where they know they've got to try everything. This is where Des Hasler will get the message out. Come on, forwards, down, keep it quiet. And it's dummy half there, Matt Orford, he'll steer them through it.
Just feel that they do actually need just one more try, Manly, just to steady the ship. If Leeds get the next try, look out. Oh, Orford has skipped through a couple. Orford! Oh, Orford! Well, the tackling was awful until then. They now have a penalty, and here we go again. Anglo-Australian relations in the World Club Challenge are not of their best. Even Sinfield tried to act as peacemaker. They nearly ended up in the crowd. They were very close to the photographers.
Sort of hands across the ocean. Well, sort of. Clenched hands across the ocean.
Surely it would be hands across the hemisphere. Right.
Yeah,
What a run from Orford.
Yeah, wonderful stuff. As you say, and it wasn't the best defence. And I think you see there's a little dig there by Lee Smith, and Matt Ballin didn't like it, and then it was all on. Referee had already given the penalty to Manly Warringah. Most of them are trying to calm Mr. Bailey down.
Clock is now stopped, and the referee wants a word with Kevin Sinfield.
Sorry. Got the original penalty for a blatant hold down against your Blakes, okay? What happened from both teams is a massive overreaction. We've only got a few minutes left. I want you to keep your Blakes under control because I won't bring out the yellow card next time, okay?
I've got that, Jace.
Yep.
My problem is, last time there was a blow-up, our man got penalised for throwing the first. Now they've thrown the first punch. I know the penalty's gone. They've run and thrown the first punch there and started a big melee.
That's right, but the penalty, the penalty's already gone, mate. You know I can't do anything about that. I want to speak to this player while you're present.
Right, well, Kevin Sinfield, as you heard there, is instructed to tell his players just to calm down. He said there's 4.5 minutes left to play, and the next card will not be yellow. By the way, while he's having a word with Matt Diskin
While we were trying to sort
and
that
Kevin
mess out,
Sinfield, let me
he's
tell you
gonna
the
be
Carnegie man of the match tonight, it probably comes as no surprise whatsoever, is the Australian second row forward Anthony Watmoe. He has had an outstanding match.
Okay, well, you guys have to deal with
Absolutely
that after the
outstanding.
game, right?
Well deserved.
Matt!
Sheer quality.
Matt!
There he is, the man of the match.
4.5 minutes to go.
Is
If you guys want
the
us
man
to play
who's now
with
being
13
ticked off
for
by
4.5
the
minutes,
referee.
that rubbish stops now. You've got the penalty. Penalty to them. Yep.
Well, will they go for the 2 or will they try to get more? A good debate out there. Water carriers out there probably giving the message. They've gone for the 2.
Yes, they're just going to
Eat up the
calm
clock,
it down completely.
Yep. No point in anybody sort of picking up a serious broken nose or a broken jaw, which can occur when, as Brian Noble said, hands across the hemisphere.
The thing that Leeds have done, Brian, though, is they have actually given a little bit of respectability to the scoreline, haven't they, here? They could have been easily just brushed aside after that blitz start.
I think Leeds, had they been a little bit closer with the last 20 minutes, had a chance of winning because of the reasons we alluded to at half-time. Manly are very, very strong just after the half, and they didn't play the right way. They gave the ball away and then didn't touch it for 13 minutes. And then for them to win, for me, they had to be close. They had to be within 2 scores, for example, with 20 minutes to go. I think they'd have kicked on there because we have seen an element of fatigue from this Manly side towards the back end. That's natural with them not having any games.
Orford adds the 2 points you see from the penalty, 28 points to 16. Manly are going to take the trophy home. There is no doubt about that. I think we found all 40 Manly fans tonight.
It'll be a big celebration as well, especially for the club. As we said earlier, they've never ever won this World Club Challenge. They can add to.
Oh, they've got it back from the short kick-off. Jamie Jones-Buchanan here. Matai under enormous pressure. This is Diskin. Here is Sinfield, whose kick produced this possession for them. Burgess now.
Lauiti'iti's out on the left yet again.
That's where the danger is. They're going that way. Here is Maguire. Here's Lauiti'iti. Deciding this time to come up on his own. Diskin, short ball, senior. Good defence. Good defence, Jamie Lyon. Wants to play quickly. Big Ali Lauiti'iti out the back door. And that is Lee Smith. Last tackle here. Can Leeds just get a little bit more consolation? They might do. Jamie Jones! Wonderful tackle. Wonderful tackle from the fullback, Brett Stewart.
Unbelievable. The big fella careering for the line, and not surprisingly, the skipper Matt Orford said, well done. Slightly forward perhaps, but what a great piece of defence from Brett Stewart.
Into the last 2 minutes. Oh, they've lost it though. It was stolen
Maybe a
from them.
penalty, you can't blame Leeds for trying to reef it away, maybe just pull the wool over the eyes of Jason Robinson.
26 penalties from him last week against Warrington Cattle and Dragons. 27 in the World Club Challenge tonight.
Maybe he likes records. Certainly broken one tonight. To be fair to the official, though, there has been a lot of scrappy play.
Yeah, and penalties that were
There's a lot of
obvious.
There's a lot of spite been in this game, as we've had 2 good punch-ups. Sorry, bad punch-ups. You never have a good one.
This is Josh Perry.
Up now!
Cuthbertson. He's lost it.
That's a loose carry, boys.
Loose carry, knock on inside the last minute. 28-16.
20 into the 20 when you got 6 years.
Manly will go home with the Carnegie World Club Challenge for 2009.
If you count 4 in the front row.
90 seconds remaining. Will Leeds at least attempt the kick and chase?
He'll be disappointed, Brian McLennan, because his focus on the opening 3 weeks of the season has been on this night. And remember what happened last year. They won against Melbourne. They went in the following week to Castleford and were beaten. Well, Leeds have got to travel to Warrington next weekend. Senior! High stepping to the line. Maguire! Maguire gets the last word. Danny Maguire. It is respectable, the scoreline. It was a wonderful run from the veteran Keith Senior, and Maguire doing what he does so well, backing up the man in possession. It won't win them the World Cup Challenge this year. His try in 2005 helped, but it gives us something to think about as we all go home tonight.
Well, I anticipated the kick and chase, but it was poor defence from Jamie Lyon. He came round out of position. Full credit to Danny Maguire. Had the legs right into the corner. Senior's had a big game in this second half as well. He certainly was inspired by the introduction of the big second rower, Ali Lauiti'iti. It's mere icing on a losing cake, but credibility at least.
5 tries to 4. Sinfield with the conversion. He's missed it. It's all over. 20 points to 28. Manly have won the World Club Challenge. British clubs have won it each and every year for the past 5 years. Manly break the spell. They become the first Australian winners since the Roosters beat St Helens at Bolton in 2003. And possibly appropriate that the first Australian club to take part in a World Club Challenge in 1987, when they lost against Wigan, have come over this time and have taken the trophy home.
This has been a Fox Sports presentation.